And that analogy applies to me, and that's why I like the service profit chain, is it starts with make the investment in your people.
Thank you, first of all. When you were talking in your presentation, you were talking about strategic influences, and the one bit which kept on sounded very well for me was the service chain. How do you think that has evolved, that conversation of identifying the capability first, and how difficult it is to identify capability first and then going to value, then going to profits? Just the service chain.
I guess the service profit chain probably as a model is a good fit for me.
Mm-hmm.
Having come from grassroots, started as a nursing assistant from the floor up, building the capability and investing in your people is the most important thing you should be doing in any business, because not only in building their capability, it's building their behaviours and attitudes, and it's also contributing to building the culture of your organisation. So in my journey, in my career, investing in the training of staff and the people that work in your organisation has been fundamentally important for me. I liken an analogy of mowing your front verge.
Mm-hmm.
I can go out and mow my front verge and I can do it, but eventually the petrol tank's going to run out of petrol. So if I don't keep putting petrol in my petrol tank, I'm not going to be able to continue to mow the lawn or mow the front verge. And that analogy applies to me, and that's why I like the service profit chain, is it starts with make the investment in your people. And it's not about them just attending training courses. We currently, I think, have 5 staff on university degrees, which we've got scholarships. We're funding them to do that. And it's important to do because they're going to be the leaders tomorrow and they're the influencers in your organisation. And when I talk to, say, the families in the disability, in Nelson Disability Services, the biggest thing the thing that reassures them and the thing that concerns them the most is people supporting their child that don't know what they're doing. Their biggest confidence comes from knowing that whoever's looking after my son or daughter has been well trained, has the right behaviours, the right attitudes, the right values. They get really concerned when they see examples of people that just come in and don't have those skill sets. So as the service profit chain purports in its work, certainly for us, that investment up front and continued investment in people, you will get that productivity and you will get that value for your customers.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that answers your question, but it stems from my early days at Nelson, because when I started at Nelson, there wasn't any training of the staff. And then Jill Bennett got a psychologist on board and we created what was called the 32 Skills Training Program. And I actually got to be part of teaching that. And this is going to sound really fundamental, but it made a big difference. But what we did is we got a video camera and we had these 32 skills and we put staff through these exercises. One staff had to play a resident, the other staff member had to play a staff member, and they had little exercises they had to do. So they had to teach the staff member who was playing the resident how to put a sock on or how to put wooden blocks into a container. It was all about that reverse training method. But what we did is we filmed it for 3 minutes and then played it back to them and we gave them feedback on how the person being the staff member went. Simple, groundbreaking back then, because it started to teach staff different skills and capability, how to support people that had never been taught how to use a knife and fork or how to pull their socks up. People had low expectations of the client. So right from those early days, you invest in your people, skill them up, you'll get good outcomes.